내가 어릴 때부터 프로게이머를 해야겠다 했는 그 꿈이 생각했던 것과 너무 달랐다. 도착했는데 내가 이제 가질 수 있겠구나 했는데 오는 답장은 아니야, 그거 아니야, 약간 그런 느낌? 네, 그랬었어요. 그래서
모든 프로게이머가 원하는 자리잖아요. 모든 리그 오브 레전드 프로게이머가 원하는 자리가 월드 챔피언십 타이틀이고, 근데 그 타이틀을 얻은 사람이 그만한 영광을 얻지 못한다면 누가 그러고 싶겠어요. 그렇게까지 해서.
Thank you for joining us for Game 5, where forever teammates CoreJJ and Crown are facing off. For the full duos piece, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/LOL Esports.
Seriously, it is actually incredible. When I watched it, the production value on that is so high, and those guys are just so, like, they're so honest, and they've just put their heart out there when they're talking. So, honestly, if you guys haven't seen it, definitely go see it. It is worth it. And if it isn't worth it, you can go ahead and yell at me. But seriously, that's seriously, I'm putting it down saying, you should watch it and you will enjoy it.
Have to agree. And with all that in mind, let's jump into the squads facing off on the blue side. It is Team Liquid. In the top lane, Impact. In the jungle, Xmithy. In mid, Jensen. In bot, Doublelift. The new support, CoreJJ and Coach Kane.
And choosing red side for this bout, it's Optic Gaming. In the top lane, Dokla. Jungle, Meteos is back in. Mid is Crown, bot Arrow, support Big, and Coach Zabuteen.
Now, last time these teams faced off, there was a focus pointed at Jensen versus Crown, where Optic camped mid to seemingly no avail.
They camped Jensen. Jensen had 0 deaths on the Cassiopeia, and you wonder if that's the best strategy to take down the #1 team if you're Optic. Crown has been a linchpin for the team, and the difference in their victories is that instead of camping and focusing Crown's lane in particular with the intention of making him hard carry, Optic gives Crown room. He then uses that room to split push or spread his lead across the map. And Crown is like Optic's kind of quarterback. You block for him, create a lot of space for him so he has a lot of options, and Crown will pick the best one in that situation. The rest of Optic just have to create the openings for him.
And that's a tough ask versus the likes of Team Liquid, who have continued to dominate the league despite one blemish on the record. Optic have had an up and down split. It feels like, again, a team that is able to attain leads, certainly has some star power behind it. We certainly have to look to Crown for that. But converting that has been a different story for Optic, who are shuffling some players around, and asking that against this Team Liquid is a trying task.
Yeah, but the Team Liquid, like you said, they aren't as dominant as Cloud9 is. Cloud9 has those large leads that they make very early on in the game. And if Team Liquid end up dropping here, they'll be tied in the standings with Cloud9 at 9-2. They're just one game ahead of that second place team, and then TSM trails right behind that. So there's kind of this, I would say, this upper echelon of these 3 teams that are trying to pull away from this clump of teams. And if Optic want to stay in that clump and start getting higher and higher in it, they have to take care of business here and actually cause some upsets.
I think for Liquid, you know, they have mentioned that sometimes things don't always feel so good in the middle of the season. They've had 2 noticeable but small slumps in both their splits last year in 2018, but have always come out to win. They didn't finish first in both splits last year, but they certainly won at the end of it all. So looking to do the same again. Only one team in history has ever won 3 splits in a row. Doublelift would like to add his name with the rest of his side to that as well. But to do that, you got to get through the rest of the regular season intact. So Thresh, the first man here for Team Liquid. Lucian, answered in kind by Optic.
Yeah, and Optic, you know, they're actually feeling great. They had a 2-0 last week versus Clutch and 100 Thieves, so they were able to beat some of the teams that were around them in the standings, and they want to climb. So getting that pack of 5 and 6 that we now have CLG and FlyQuest in, and compete for those playoff spots, because we are coming down to the wire here. This is week 6.
Certainly getting through it, as Yorick will be banned by Team Liquid. Seems like their fans will be happy about that. Dokla, of course, a very competent Yorick player as well. As Silas continues to see some attention on the red side, will also be banned away.
Yeah, Silas, Lucian, Jace. It feels like Thresh is jumping up a little bit. Then there's things like Zoe, LeBlanc, and Nocturne that make their way into these bans. It feels like these stock bans that are coming out aren't like absurdly powerful though. It's not like that is obvious, get that out of there. So I feel like Silas and Lucian are kind of the only real ones that you kind of have to worry about.
Kind of a surprise to me, though, to see Team Liquid ban Rek'Sai on the blue side. Xmithie has the highest number of Rek'Sai games in LCS history.
Yeah, but Meteos, that's his queen right there. That champion is one that he's always, every time I talk to him, he's like, when is Rek'Sai gonna be good again? I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm not in charge of that. But he loves that champion. He plays it all the time in solo queue. He even had a tweet like, people need to stop flashing the ultimate. Oh, because you can't do it anymore. Like, he's playing it right now a ton, and Meteos is known for having those farming tanky junglers like the Olaf right now, and even the Zac back in the day. But the Rek'Sai was the one that gave him even more control over the early game. And when you give a really smart player like Meteos, who loves taking macro advantages and doing a lot with them, an early game champion that he's proficient at, it could spell disaster. So I like the ban there.
Well, Tahm Kench ban that leaves Ezreal over to Team Liquid as their first pick overall, answered by Zoe and Nocturne. So,
Yep.
two champions you mentioned that do see some ban attention, have seen a lot of play, will both be selected here by Optic. And as far as champions from mid lane that can kind of do it all and really excel, especially when they have a lead, I think Zoe is one that is so good in the hands of strong players, and we've seen it from Crown already.
Yeah, and I really want to see what he's able to do on this poke champion and what Jensen ends up picking against it, because LeBlanc is the common pick that you would see pop up. Right here, though, the Nocturne and the Zoe being traded for the Ezreal, I think are really good from the get-go in terms of the draft. But the Galio here from Team Liquid for JJ has been on top of Tahm Kench ultimates, Alistar, all of that, engaging. And so TL looks like they're going to go for more engage here and try to be able to stop the poke, stop the siege. Because we've seen Zoe's just poke, 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 and teams have nothing that they can answer with. TL are setting up their answers already.
Yeah, as far as teamfight breaking goes, Jarvan plus Galio are pretty good, and we have seen Impact be very successful on Jarvan as well recently. So, of course, with some flexibility there, also Xmithie could take the Jarvan if he wants. I'm expecting that to be support Galio for Core JJ, but again, Liquid take some strong picks, ones that have good synergy and don't give too much away. So a good start to the draft as Optic round out their first phase with Alistar.
Yeah, and now the bans will come through towards the LeBlanc, most likely, trying to get rid of that champion in the mid lane for Jensen. And then maybe they'll throw another one its way, too. I'm trying to think of what you might... Maybe a Lissandra if you're going for a full-on engage composition from TL.
But it's ban his most played champion as they take Orianna off the board.
Might just be Ori and LeBlanc.
Yeah, I mean, that seems very sensible. See what Liquid have to answer with here, though. Still a bot laner missing here for Optic, so we'll see if Liquid want to target Arrow.
Either you choke down the bottom lane and get rid of some of those guys who are mobile, or you just get rid of those top lane counter picks like the Jace that can be so annoying into whatever you end up picking here. And if you give Dokla an advantage in that top lane, he's the guy who loves to split push. I'm really interested to see what they end up picking for him here, because they most likely will pick last for him. And he'll be able to have a favorable matchup here. Everybody's been picking red side. Everybody's been picking red side today. And it feels like it's because of the value of the counter picks.
Optic thinking a lot about this pick, but actually settle on Syndra over something like the LeBlanc. With Zoe already selected, you have to think Optic are giving that away if that's what Liquid wants to play.
Yeah, it's interesting because the LeBlanc, I think, is considered the counter pick into Zoe by a lot of people, but personally, I feel like it struggles because her pattern doesn't really help get to the Zoe later. The Zoe is so slippery in the late game and will almost never be in your range. So you have to find really clever flanks. If they're saying that they don't want to just have the Syndra stun and just have them reach the team and just siege down, I want to see what they go for here, because I feel like Team Liquid are going to need more wave clear. They're going to need something that can wave clear mid easily.
If that's the case, certainly some good bans there by Optic, as Sivir is the selection there over the potential Kalista into the Ezreal. I've seen this matchup a lot. Alistar, of course, common in the lane there as well. And I think in general, Liquid aren't looking for too many fireworks in their 2v2 if they're going to pair Ezreal and Galio together.
Yeah.
It's really just about farming.
Personally, I love the Tristana ban, because if you didn't ban Tristana and they pick it up here, every time you Jarvan ulti in, he'll just knock you out, he'll get out, he'll get away from the Galio ultimate, so you kind of force him to go for a low mobility carry in the bottom side.
Ooh, a Kennen pick here though for Team Liquid.
And not much really beats Kennen, but Gnar did get a Mega Gnar change and is pretty good into him, so we'll see what they end up picking here. Jace is the normal, like, Kennen counter. But it's banned away, so they don't have access to that, and I like that Team Liquid will pick that up. adds more to the team fight in the AoE.
Yeah, it looks like they will just settle on the LeBlanc, but quite a lot of conversation there between Jensen and their coach. So I think it was mostly just like, do you want to play this? Everyone plays it. It's like, sure, I'll play it.
Yeah, the wave clear is kind of a struggle for Team Liquid, but the way their composition works is if you're being sieged by Optic, a lot of times you don't go wave clear for wave clear, which is a lot of the struggle. You're like, oh, I can't clear these minions fast enough, and they just keep chipping away at the turret. Now you just pull the go button. You have the LeBlanc and the Kennen flank. You just have the Jarvan dive right in with the Galio. You just go full on, full force.
The back?
Oh, boy.
It's back! Maokai has made his way back into the LCS, surprising no one.
What? I'm surprised. I don't know why he's playing it, but because Sion is kind of knocked down a tier and they just want to play into this. I mean, I guess he can build a lot of magic resistance and not feel bad about it. He's a good frontliner. I'm interested to see how it works out in this game, though, because now it's going to be, you got counterpick. Now it ended up red side for Optic was really so they can get a priority jungler and mid laner here with Zoe and Nocturne. And we'll see if those end up being worth it. Because Meteos, he usually doesn't play to the top side. Dardoch plays to the top side statistically. Meteos plays to the bottom side. He plays around Drakes. He's way more on top of that and going towards the bottom lane than Dardoch is.
I like the idea. Like, the conversation that might be happening is like, hey, I'm not coming top for minutes 21. Yeah. He's like, Maokai, I guess. I mean, we'll have to see. It is a difference for Dokla. It feels like it has been best on some sort of side lane champion. Maokai, very much a farm/team fight champion, but as you mentioned, haven't seen it in a while. Maybe there's a reason. I'm not surprised because Maokai inevitably makes his way back in. Is it good? We'll have to find out. Impact also bucking his trend. They kind of swap champions, actually. I would expect Impact to be on Maokai and maybe Dokla to be on something like Kennen, but Impact, again, trying to say that, hey, I have other champions. You need to respect me as a threat.
Yeah, Impact, I mean, he's got the Kleptomancy right now on the Kennen, so he'll just be trying to get money from that tree, like Christmas. And I think Maokai, Dokla has the festive Maokai skin, so he's ready to give him some presents.
Synergy is aligning across the board. Also, Hail of Blades, Jarvan.
Yeah.
So extra aggression there for Xmithie.
I saw Hail of Blades when it got reworked. There were Camille's running it. There were Jarvans running it. I tried it for a little bit. Conqueror is garbage on Jarvan. He doesn't actually get enough attacks in.
Whippo would like a word from the LEC.
Well, in top lane, it's
okay.
In jungle, no. In jungle, absolutely not. But the Hail of Blades, you just get to rush in, hit him a bunch of times, and then you get to go out. And with all that attack speed that you have from your flag, you're in a good shape.
Well, with that, before we jump onto the Rift, we are going to get a sideline report for Optic.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Coach Zaboutine and our French translator, Roman. Zaboutine, tough game ahead of you against Team Liquid. What is going to give the team the winning edge?
Je sais que les castors français vont avoir énormément de difficultés à casser jusqu'à 6 h du matin parce qu'il y a déjà du retard. Du coup, j'ai pris une compo scaling pour que la game dure 40, 50, 60 minutes avec 3 Elders parce que j'ai pas vraiment envie qu'ils s'amusent.
So he's extremely happy. He had a good night of sleep. He has new socks today, so that makes him extremely confident on this game. And the team Optic top failed a bit, but the core part of the game is going to be getting the blue buff.
That is a great strategy, Zaboutine Roman. Thank you. Back to you guys.
I think they're hiding something.
Yeah, what are those socks?
All right, we'll see what happens here. TL and Optic, our final game of the day. That's certainly one that could be filled with fireworks. Again, for me, for how dominant Liquid have been, yes, suffering a loss to TSM, you maybe expect the top two teams below them, maybe the one, as we'll hold that thought, as Impact is invading, trying to get the Klepto cashed in early, actually started E and just auto-attack Dokla with the bonus attack speed.
Yeah, the thing that when Frostfang was kind of the thing that people would take top lane, it was the Frostmancy build, it was Zilean, Lulu, Karma, and Kennen. And it's because they all have an ability that speeds them up, and then you speed yourself up, it gives you the 2 attacks for Klepto, and you just run at them and hit them twice. So taking the E first here is actually standard for if you're kind of getting gold from it. And Meteos is actually going to find Xmithie here, laid down the trail.
2v2 battle, looks like Crown might be here first.
Oh. Okay, so that was the E down from Meteos. Smite.
Oof.
Yeah.
Close, but does get it. Well timed there as Dokla, already in a spot of bother here.
Crown's got to watch out. Okay, yeah, he's backing up, and now Impact is bullying him in the top side. They're going for the other crab. And this should be Xmithie's to take, because Meteos went red to other Scuttle Crab to blue, and caught him there while he was doing it. That's actually a very common route. Like, a lot of the times, the reason that junglers do this is because if you show up at a Scuttle Crab and they have red and you don't, you're doomed. So you start red, and then you go to whichever Scuttle Crab, whether it's the one next to you or the one that's on the opposite side, because they spawn at 2 minutes and you have some time to get there. If you go to the opposite side one and you started on your top side red here as a red side guy, you end up getting there as they're starting it. So you can get them when they don't have abilities up. It's just people don't always expect that to happen. So
sense.
show up with the red. If you show up with the blue, you're trolling.
Okay, red crab. Next time autofilled, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
And swiftly die to the enemy jungler. Impact pushing here in top lane. He's building up a nice wave for himself. Doka will perhaps have some permission to see some of these under the turret, but it is rough going here for Mr. Maokai. At least for a short while. Impact with a great amount of pressure early on. And also Doublelift and Core JJ getting the push in early before Sivert really gets the ricochet going. Still though, you can see Smithy did get that crab as you mentioned. Now back down towards his red side, getting the rest of that going. Good cover there by Core JJ with the taunt, but a great arcane shift from Doublelift, getting him out from any potential pulverize.
I want to see what Core JJ is able to do on this Galio, because Galio support's actually pretty bad in lane. It's got high mana costs on the Q. You pretty much stand there, watch your laner just CS, and then you hit the W if anything is going to happen to him. Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble. What's this going to look like? Okay.
Everyone's hanging out. Battle style there from Crown.
It was just a stare down.
Jensen also taking Ignite. We've seen this already today. I believe Bjergsen versus Zoe did this. Feels like LeBlancs feel that they need some sort of pressure versus Zoe, but not having cleanse can cost you if you get hit by a stray bubble.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The cleanse is usually mandatory against the Zoe, especially if she has somebody in the jungle like a Sejuani, but he has a Nocturne here. So you can kind of get away with that, but if he, like you said, if he goes for pressure, it can be an all-in, but Crown has cleanse himself, which would remove the Ignite.
Yeah, it feels like, again, in theory, I get the LeBlanc matchup, but Zoe just so good at getting to the spots where she's effective that I think without a lot of attention, it can be tricky. We'll see how Jensen navigates it, though. Certainly an extremely competent LeBlanc player. Doublelift and Core JJ finally getting themselves pushed in. Xmithie was visiting down briefly, but I think mainly to cover in case Meteos was there.
Crab number 2 is when the crab rave happens.
Well, Meteos again going to find Xmithie first. He flag and drags out to safety. Meteos takes down the control ward and will have crab supremacy, at least as far as that early vision goes.
You got to push the crab the other way. Oh.
Battle is beginning.
Actually, Meteos is going to have a really good time here.
Yeah, here's Crown zipping in. As Xmithie getting out of there. Already had to burn the flash. Now the bubble through the terrain. One drowsy boy and a dust spring against Meteos. First blood. Core JJ with the roam will get the counter kill.
And that from Meteos, instead of flashing up towards Crown, he flashes down right into Core JJ's waiting arms. But that's what happens when those crab fights go awry.
Well, I mean, everyone was there to assist. It's a trade at the end of the day. Meteos will collect the extra gold from First Blood. A good response there for Team Liquid to at least keep it even as far as the kill score goes.
Yeah, the kill does go to Core JJ, so it's not a huge difference there for mid lane. They both get assists. If that went over to Jensen, then Crown has to worry a little bit. The big thing here, though, is I'm looking at the gold. It's 1,000 gold difference, and that's because there's just this Kleptomancy money market farm going on right now. That's 800 gold difference top. And then down on the bottom side, you also have that Klepto that's doing some work. It's only 400 there, but that by itself is just a large advantage.
And Crab round 2, or Crab Rave round 2, I believe, does go to Xmithie.
That's the same one. It never ends.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
But yeah, hits him with the Q. Xmithie uses his own Q there because the E cooldown is a bit longer. Gets to go after him. Uses the spell shield there. So Meteos used the spell shield a little early, didn't block anything. Gets the Q off perfectly. And then, yeah, because he got hit by Jensen's E, he decided to try and run away downward instead of flashing towards Crown upward.
Unfortunately for him, it does cost him his life, but...
I mean, I can see this, so I can hindsight 2020 it, but in that moment, him going down away from where LeBlanc came from, because he'll just snap back to it, seems like the right choice.
Doka, I think, is finally getting a little bit of breathing room. What happened there?
That's the, if you have a full inventory and you Kleptomancy Scryer's Orb, you actually give them money.
You don't need 15 gold.
Yeah, you hit him with it, and then it just pops that little thing on him, and then he hits it, gets 15 gold. It's like, all right, Kleptomancy works for both, I guess.
Use some more dematerializes impact. You can't be giving those away. As I said, Doka is getting pushed down with that Catalyst. Feels a bit more robust in the 1v1, but doesn't stop the money from falling out of his branches.
And he's going to feel really good come late game because all he has to do is buy, like, MR against this team. The Jarvan is really the only AD threat, and then there's some from the Ezreal, but the Ezreal's magic damage is kind of the big bursty parts of his kit that you get hit by, like the ultimate, the E, the W.
Something is brewing here in the bot side. It is a
Oh, it's all about the blue buff.
steal, or attempt here at least by Team Liquid, but Big is around. Aaron knows this as well, but no other people around means that Xmithie will get that steal pretty easily.
Yeah, it was kind of Big is just there to kind of people track, see who's there. And so Meteos is on the top side, getting level 6, pushing himself into the jungle. He'll get the blue and clear all of this out. That's going to put Xmithie on the bottom side by the Drake. And actually, that was a great ward. That's one of those, you got to click in a specific spot bottom lane to get that over the wall.
Yeah. Meteos actually is going to at least trade the buffs, so the steal just equalizing in a bit of vertical jungle action here. In fact, I guess with this split, is playing a bit more safely. Jensen also chunked out Crown.
Yeah,
Have his Ignite still, but Crown ate the wrong end of something.
Yeah, Crown has potions to go through, so he's okay for now. But the difference in items is that Jensen went for one that's going to just keep giving him mana, so he'll be fine. And with the was it Lost Chapter? And then you also have Crown, who decided to go defensive here. Went for the Merc Treads very early on. So all he's doing is kind of running away from chains, but that's not the main combo that Jensen's going for here.
Also with the Drake given over to TL, Ocean is nice and will amp that landing phase up a little bit more as the dive is beginning.
They have to be careful about this because the Nocturne can just fly right in. Here, where's the Zoe bubble? As soon as the Zoe bubble comes through, all right, there it is.
And there's Xmithie out. Jensen now being chased down by Crown, but gonna land that chain, does not latch. And looks like Meteos is just gonna do that grump and stay in the area. Team Liquid, I think, wisely back off to the play.
Yeah, Team Liquid back off the play. They have the Kleptomancy, just getting them some gold, so they do have a lead. This is one of those leads, though, that you don't feel early on. Because even though you, like, it's a difference between, like, you get a kill and you're like, man, I'm 300 gold up. I feel great. And even if you're 400 gold up via Kleptomancy, you still don't feel like you're that far ahead. Because it's, well, you don't really have a keystone that's going to do a lot of damage in the fight.
Can be tough to check as Dokla, Chuck Proc. Oh, sapling in the brush. Doesn't quite get the cannon, and Impact now responds in kind.
Well, new cannon, too, in terms of visual update.
Everyone looking really sleek today.
Yeah. It's pretty noisy in terms of, there's so much lightning in there now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it feels like it's more thematic to the character. I like it.
I like it also. Impact also liking it right now because he's having a perfectly fun time, although Dokla feels like he's equalized. Roam here from CoreJJ looking for Crown, but they find a control board instead, about as good.
And just watch CoreJJ where he finds these roam timings, where he's able to back, go to the top side of the map, drop off some wards, and then go to the bottom side as Ezreal is coming back to it. So he's not wasting any time. And Ezreal is also very self-sufficient. I think Galio is one of the best supports alongside Ezreal is the Galio or the Shen. Because you can go to other lanes, and Ezreal should be self-sufficient, able to CS under turret, able to poke minion waves down and feel good about it. So you can leave the Ezreal alone. Don't do it in solo queue because they always die. But you can go ahead in professional play and go to other lanes. And that's what CoreJJ is doing here, is saying, you're on your own, it's fine, and he's going to go try to make a play here.
I am. My heart is warmed by the trust he already has in Peter, given how shortly they've been a duo together. But as you said, Ezreal has all the tools to be A-OK, as Optic also trying to make their presence known. Big does ward the Raptor camp. It's a lot of movement more than anything else. The teams are trying to find kind of the first big opening in this game.
Uh-oh. Alistar? Oh, okay, he makes it out. It was just, he was getting pinched in by Jensen and Xmithie, but they were just, distracted by the crab. You gotta pick that up. Low risk, good reward too, so.
And again, vision continuing to be cleared out. Meteos has not used his ultimate yet, most notably, so always look to see when Nocturne can start affecting these lanes, but not having an effective ulti right now means that I think in general TL have done a good job playing safe and tracking him. Never good news though for the Nocturne, as Crown going to get dove on there. Mimic Distortion after that first.
Didn't throw the chain. Throws the Distortion down to just poke Crown out. So Jensen's doing a great job here.
That Crown, no, doesn't even take that recall. Eats his cookie, gonna stay in the lane. Jensen might try and stay for some plate gold, but yep, he's actually gonna move up and try and get that done. Crown's still here, so he'll clear out the wave, wants to wait for a better wave. So the back timing feels nicer. Also So Doku and Impact just kind of farming it up here.
Yep.
Still first items on the way.
And Impact's just going for more gold over and over again.
So notable that Doublelift has actually done quite a lot of damage to this turret, almost at plate number 2. I think in part that's the dive that TL threatened.
Pushed him off. I think that's when they got one plate. But now he also has 2 items. He has the Sheen, which I consider actually a big power spike for him, versus all this kind of, I would say it's a patchwork build going on right now. He's got the boots. He's got the Cull, which is late game investment to be like, I will match your Kleptomancy somehow. But wait a second. Meteos is here. If Big can find a way in.
They're just eating poke. TL, though, pretty adamant that this is a buff they want to stay on and steal. He's still in this blue. Meteos is hanging out in Fog of War, puts out a controller to double check that he isn't seen. I don't know if Optic really want to go, but Meteos is playing like he does want to.
And the mid laners just keep fighting each other back and forth. Jensen just completed the Luden's Echo, whereas Crown just has the Lost Chapter, Blasting Wand, and then the boots. So there's still that item advantage there. Jensen, oh, okay. This is risky. Both top laners back, looking for TP locations.
Doublelift also getting some poke, finds Big. Arrow also uses his spell shield, but probably not too eventful.
It's just a blue buff, guys.
But it's their blue buff, Cyrene.
Who's there?
If you're TL, it's Optics.
Okay.
Reverse, obviously. The other blue buff. Oh,
How dare
does
you!
go in. Big also in there with the pulverize. Damage is almost enough after the stopwatch, but Xmithie does get out safely. CoreJJ gets Big. Here's now Impact joining the fight. Meteos is going to be down for the count as Jensen takes him out. And Dokla late, ultis flashes away, and that's all she wrote for Optic on that fight.
Yeah, that was a fight that Optic opted into. They went, all right, let's have the ultimate from Meteos come in, the first one of the game. He goes in, doesn't do anything for him. He gets in, the redemption at Crown is holding, doesn't come down at all, and then everybody from TL is able to clump up and they get the TPs off too.
So like Team Liquid had almost forced an error from Optic there. They had so much pressure, everyone was moving out. They knew they could TP in quickly if they started the play, and they do.
I'm like, sometimes you force an error, sometimes they decide to make one themselves. So it was one where, that's not your blue, you can just go to the other side of the map. Like, you're fighting here for literally 45 seconds. Goes in, they start to try and get onto him. That's another stopwatch from Xmithie. Crown has the redemption, doesn't use it. This is an ultimate that, from Meteos, to block out the vision of everybody else on the other team. Yeah, and it looked like Optic were the ones that were lost in that fight.
Oh, now the Calio are going to charge in. Dokla, I think, dodged the knockup, but still going to get taunted. Slick moves with Doublelift ulti, he's going to add it in, and TL Impact able to grab the kill.
And that is just 4 people contributing to the top side kill with Doublelift's ultimate.
That's unlucky.
Yep. Dokla, though, he has the Righteous Glory. Interesting to build in this matchup up against the Kennen that has the magic damage and also penetration now. 2 penetration items and no magic resistance in sight for Dokla. I thought he was just going to stack MR.
Ooh, cancel there. Meteos chasing on CoreJJ, but Calio robust enough. And nothing really to gain there for Optic.
Yep, and that is huge, though, for TL, because now they get pressure on the top side. Impact will kill this turret. And then they also got the Rift Herald. And they got the Drake after the previous play, too.
Yep. Take the first turret. Build up a very big gold lead. I mean, just thinking back to that blue, I kind of agree that, yeah, at some point you have to abandon it, but they were so committed to the play. I think if they just gone earlier, maybe the result would have been a bit different, but by the time they went, it was far too late.
I just feel like you don't go for that at all. The Ezreal has 2 items. You don't have like anything really going for you on the bottom side. The mid lane, it's a Luden's Echo. I feel like even the Kennen TPing in, I don't know. I would just feel like that fight is a mistake to take. I don't see how that fight would go their way is what I guess I'm getting at.
And I think whatever conversation was happening did not happen quickly for Optic.
Yeah.
So I think the fact they were deliberating so long about what the right decision was tough, and TL punished it. This is a team that has almost always been on the same page, being able to play together. I mean, this roster is pretty new given the members they added, and still the synergy felt almost instant.
Yeah, I mean, CoreJJ is taking more of a lead on the team too, so he's the one who's like, I can roam and like make these plays across the map, and then they come together later on as a full team, when right now it's kind of like breakout skirmishes, people playing around each other when they can. And on Optic's side, I feel like Meteos and Big, you know, these are 2 big shot callers on this team, and if you have 2 voices that might not be in unison, then sometimes the team, when they play with Dardoch, right, look a little bit more aligned in team play. And right there, that just felt like it was a mixed call, or it was one that was deliberated for so long, and then the decision ended up being incorrect.
Well, another Drake coming up, so we'll see what happens decision time-wise around that objective. Impacto is continuing to shove in Dokla. Doublelift is doing his best to pressure this outer turret, but he'll be joined by CoreJJ and his jungler Smithy to make sure it finally goes down. I mean, Arrow, you said it, he had the Carl, he now has the Essence Reaver. He's doing what he can to collect the farm, but Sivir needs quite a lot of time to get to those power points.
Yeah, and at the same time, Crown is going to need more farm as well. Get himself his first item. And really, that just put a huge stopper on, or I guess delay, on what Optic want to do, and that's reach that mid to late game with the Maokai, with the Sivir, and also the Zoe.
Continuing to play defense here. I think just looking at what the next team fight looks like. I mean, the last one we said they shouldn't have taken. I think at this point I'm inclined to agree. So this doesn't feel like this one is one that should take either. Big is so far out of position. Gets taunted, just gonna get poked down, and he's dead.
What was he doing? He just walked straight down mid, and then there were 4 people there. Granted, maybe he couldn't see them, but still coming in at that angle when people aren't spotted on the map is so risky. This Rift Herald, you're gonna be able to pop that turret right after Doublelift can reach it.
Yep, one more auto. It's actually Jensen that collects the last hit, but still the damage is done. As Team Liquid fell the outer ring. Smithy also looking to dive in onto Crown. Goes Drowsy, flash, and cleanse up for Crown, but Jensen dives in. He wants the kill. He will collect it.
And now it's just the whole game falling apart for Optic. That's Crown dying after Big died. That's the Rift Herald that's gonna maybe get a 3rd charge off here unless Meteos can walk up and smite it or something. But they want to buy room for it, and it's gonna get another charge.
That's Arrow from the bot lane trying to prevent this inhibitor turret from falling down, but it is way too late for that play.
This is so scattered from Optic. Team Liquid, it's on full display just how much of a better coordinated team they are, because Optic just look in shambles.
Extremely disjointed. As Team Liquid continue to accrue advantages. They're up about 7,000 gold or so. Now with a Drake up, they can swoop down and collect that if they wish. Looks like with 3 in the area, they will.
Every time we talk about Team Liquid, it's like, sure, they don't have those early game advantages like Cloud9 do, but as soon as Team Liquid get an advantage, they will destroy you in the game and end it after that. We've seen so many games where they're even or slightly behind, and then it's just like, boom, one team fight, one Baron, boom, they're in. And yeah, Big goes in at a, yeah, I think he was like, Jensen already used his W. I'm a walk up, but that's where everybody else is. And he just gets completely blasted, which then they have no vision control because the support is dead. No wards in place. Crown just gets ultied here, doesn't flash away immediately, and that gives time for Jensen to close the gap. So even though it was against the Zoe with flash, the Cataclysm kept him there long enough.
Just took more than enough damage that Jensen was able to swoop in and finish it off. Baron's now alive, but not expecting too many fireworks there just now. Also, that Ocean Drake did get collected by Team Liquid, so they'll add a second now to their collection alongside that Mountain. And Jensen just playing side lane. 2 items done, Silk Shoes on. I mean, it is just Team Liquid having a full run of the Rift right now.
Finally, some magic resistance for Dokla. And I would say maybe a little too late for that. The snowball is in full effect here. 2 penetration items already completed for Jensen and Impact. You already have that extra AP coming in for Doublelift here. Yep. Oh, he'll have some, but they might be able to just kill the squishies and ignore Dokla.
I mean, at this point, there aren't very many bad decisions for Team Liquid.
They have Guardian Angels, they have a lot of dive. As long as they all dive at the same time, they should be in good shape.
And of all the teams, I think Liquid are the team I expect to make the least mistakes in this sort of situation. But I think is a credit to how good their record is and how decisive they look when they close out games. It's just Impact, he's split pushing. Everyone on Optic feels like they threaten for a dive. Even, you know, trying to find a 5v5 that you think your comp might be better at, even if the gold was even. I don't know how you get out of this persistent 1v1 versus Impact. I don't know how you fight off the lack of vision that you have in this game. The coordination that TL have with their globals. Like this one. Onto Dokla, Taunt's gonna land. They'll just CC him up as best they can. The Brambles come out for Dokla. Doublelift in to collect the last hit. Something he loves oh so much, but not today, Doublelift. Does get Drowsy, shifts away.
That's pretty far though.
Not even a Rek'Sai ult would reach that one.
Yep.
In fact, Smithy, sorry, does get chunked, but Optic again just defending what they can. Jensen about to get himself a 1v2 kill. Ignites on the big.
He's got Q and W. He flashed.
Oh, doesn't need it. Double lift there. Crown does make Jensen drowsy. They'll dive back in. They will get a good shutdown. Meteos collects 800 gold.
I'm piecing it together. When Zabutin said it was all about the blue, Meteos would have arguments with his mid laner about who gets second blue. He always said it was him. Goes after Jensen there after Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Pays him back for taking all the blues. That's what it was. They fought over the second blue, the third blue so hard. It was really all about the blue,
You
actually.
need to break the conspiracy board back out from last split.
But he was right, though.
That's right. Oh, Dirklet doesn't quite cancel that back. Team Liquid up now 8,000 gold. Just looking to break down a few more turrets. Already have 5. Thankfully, Optic do have 2 kills, so it will not be a perfect game, but it is certainly a struggle.
Level advantage here. Still for TL, it's kind of, whenever there's an advantage, I like to look at if there's any big level discrepancies. Jensen's almost 15. You can see up in gold about 15, 1600. Huge amount of CSD for him. So he's doing a good job of being that LeBlanc in the side lane. He has so much damage that he's able to poke the Alistar down.
Yeah, big better run. There was a few more people in the brush, but Jensen just goes back to his original distortion location, and
Yeah.
TL are just setting up for Baron.
Big bane for Jensen in this game, though. Oh, let's see this. Double lift. The shot. Got him.
Yeah, just don't show the part where he dies after. That's
Yeah.
nice work there from
Cut
Double
the
Lift. Cut the tapes. I mean, dunk on a Crown. Double Lift again, lands it up. I've seen this one already. Nullifying Orb there. We'll keep Crown safe. Safe enough. But I mean, Double Lift not stopping on the Meteos. Gets a massive chunk of damage. That second tier not even transformed into the Embrace. But Double Lift does not care.
Yeah, he doesn't
Even
care.
buy real boots this game. It's magical footwear only.
It's the free ones, man. Just walking around with those. I mean, Ezreal with boots, he doesn't really need them too much at this point.
Team Liquid knocked down turret 6. Finally, TP in. It's time for Baron. Team Liquid just so clinical in the way they're approaching this game.
That's Double Lift's TP. He just went back for a Bilgewater Cutlass, and they're just going to go after this. This will be probably the easiest Baron that we've seen all day.
Well, there's a blue orb in, so Team Liquid are aware that... Oh,
Or maybe I spoke too soon.
They're going to try for something. Lights out. They can't get back in. TL pull out. They don't want to force any sort of risky 50-50 impact with
at
a
the
massive
back.
flank. Finds Crown, destroys him with the Tempest. And now the Galio ult roams in. Meteos going to lose his GA. Dokla going to lose his life to Jensen. No, it's Smithy finding there with a Q. Meteos the next to fall, and Team Liquid just smash Optic in that team fight. And it wasn't very fair, to be honest.
Man, we talked about at the start where it was like Impact, you expected him to be on the Maokai, not on the Kennen. Comes in with a beautiful, beautiful flank off of a control ward that was placed earlier.
He's good at flanking on Maokai too, to be fair, but it looks like Team Liquid might just finish off the rest of the base. No Baron needed for one of the strongest Baron power play teams in the league. They are just running over Optic. Taunt lands in, that's arrow down to Double Lift, and Big is going to pay the price pretty soon. Does flash out of the way, he's trampling all the way back towards the fountain, but the Resurrect's in, and Team Liquid, putting barely a foot wrong, look to just finish off the Nexus and continue their wins. Optic diving at Team Liquid, trying to make something break, but it feels so futile.
And this is 26.5 minutes in. Talking about speedruns, this is another one. A TL are gonna try to put on the board. Ooh, Crown almost gets impact.
Yeah, reaching towards some sort of PB. Optic again fighting off what they can, but Crown gonna zone them off the next. Impact is just bedding them in. Jensen padding the stats. There's another kill over to Double Lift this time around. It might be something they can get. They want to try and get at least one kill, but Team Liquid deny everything as Double Lift. He does not die before the Nexus falls.
He's like, kill it, make sure he doesn't drop down. And a great finishing touch there from Team Liquid. A 27-minute game.
No mercy from Team Liquid today.
As soon as they got that lead, Kleptomancy into that blue buff fight, that was pretty much all she wrote. It was Team Liquid from that point onward.
And for Optic, who were a team that I felt like were making strides, it's a head-scratching game, to be honest. Just seems so disjointed throughout that game.
Yeah, it's absolutely the best way to describe it. It just seemed a little bit all over the place there for Optic. not able to get it on the same page. And up against a team that's #1 in the league and has shown consistency, now being 10-1, you can't have any mistakes like that against this team. They will go ahead and they will just start getting that dagger in, and then the rest of the game is them twisting it.
Yep, have to regroup tomorrow as they play FlyQuest. You can see Crown not too happy. CoreJJ does beat his former teammate, but
Again, as well, and Crown, not able to get revenge against Jensen for Worlds.
it's the classic. The big brother just beating up the younger brother, it feels like. As Team Liquid add another smooth victory.
Yep, Team Liquid, 10-1. They're doing fantastically in the standings, and that is the game that you want to see from a first-place team. Mark Z was talking about where he's like, our second-place team having this kind of fiesta everywhere. He's going to be much happier with this, except for the fact that it was one fiesta over at the Blue Buff. But they came out on top. They said, it's our birthday, and they came away with the win.
And the blue buff, which is, as we've learned, the most important objective to gain. Zyrene, to break down that game and wrap up the day there, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Team Liquid. Now 10-1 in the LCS. Thanks to G2 losing earlier, they have the best record in Western League of Legends now, which means they're going to win an MSI. Obviously, that's how that works. Actual question, though, how did Liquid look? Obviously, still the #1 team record-wise. Are they still that way play-style-wise? Is that going to happen down the line?
Right. I think they heard us complaining about them not winning fast enough last time, and I gave them criticism for not killing the Baron earlier. So they were like, okay, we're just gonna win without Baron earlier than you wanted us to.
Have
so
you seen this one?
I guess they're showing us up, and like we just look like dummies now because they don't need Baron to win the game apparently.
Yeah, I think it was also a good change-up in draft as well. LeBlanc for Jensen, a little bit more of a self-carry focused champion, which we haven't seen as much of. And then Kennen, top AP for Impact. Still a carry, but also a team fighter, so he can kind of do both. And we wanted to see more out of Impact. And of course, he always has another kind of team fighty champion to play.
And Impact specifically played the team fight build, double flat pen and proto belt to go for backline. He could have gone AD Kennen, try to kill off the Maokai, could have gone for not flat pen, but a void staff to maybe kill him in team fights. Like, no, I'm gonna one-shot the Zoe, I'm gonna go kill the Silver backline. That did work when he did TP flank later on, so it worked out.
Yep.
I mean, not much to say. It's a 27-minute win. Team Liquid, we always thought they would outclass Optic. They indeed did. The predictions, everyone's going to say that one. The question for Optic, though, is will they keep switching the junglers around? Does Dardoch come back in? Even though Meteos was solid this game, Dardoch's been solid in their wins, too.
Right. I mean, Meteos got first blood this game, right? He was bullying Smithy a little bit.
And then he died 2 seconds after.
Right. He could have flashed over the red buff towards his mid lane, he would have lived. But, that's like a hindsight 2020 kind of thing. And I feel like every time we ask this question, it's not like Meteos is performing bad, but they're just not winning. Why is that the case?
I mean, there's still the question of the shot calling. I think there's that one play where Big just hauled into mid lane to insta-die.
That's where you have the question mark pings going on solo queue right now.
And you're kind of just what's the communication on this team when it's you see a play like that? Was anyone telling him hey, a bunch of guys are missing. They could be anywhere. We don't have great vision around mid. And they had one more in the bot lane or a bot behind Dragon Pit. So they could have been coming from anywhere when he charged in there and ran right past the pink board.
I believe Big had an interview where he was talking about he was having difficulty trying to figure out how to play with Meteos because they have different ways of how they want to play the game. So maybe this is his way of getting back to him,
I'll just hit your lanes for you.
I mean, all the focus has been on which jungler is going to play, play, but they also used Gate, and they won, games with Gate.
Yeah.
They could also switch out the bottom lane parts as well.
Sure. Yeah, and Arrow versus Asta doesn't seem to be that different of an input either. I understand keeping the bot lanes together, but those have felt comparable.
When I think back to the games with Asta, I actually remember him being able to auto-attack the enemy champions, but every time I see Arrow, he's almost always running away and or unable to attack. On his Civ or on his Kalista, it's maybe 8,000 damage each time he played those characters. Whether that's on him or the team, I'm not sure, but I at least remember Asta being able to hit people. So.
They were also winning those games, which is a lot more memorable.
Yeah. To look at the schedule, though, those wins were against CLG and Clutch, who we know to have been very weak performers for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the split. So you have fond memories of easier matches.
Clutch started 2-0, did they not?
Yeah, but Clutch went on to lose 7 straight, and Optic was the beginning of that. So I mean, I'm not saying either way this is right or wrong, but certainly other food for thought. Strength of the schedule certainly can matter and whatnot. Either way, CLG overall have broken from the clump, and they have joined FlyQuest in 4th place. 100 Thieves find a place inside the clump alongside Echo Fox, Golden Guardians, and Optic Gaming. And now let's get a refresher of how everyone's predictions fared today, and let's see how many were lit up Ooh, other than that one upset, everyone but Kobe was really good.
I was the first game for the majority of the game. This was a perfect game that Clutch had against 100 Thieves for like 20 plus minutes.
Yeah,
it was a perfect game.
5 dragons.
Up until they lost the game, they were winning. I've seen that before.
I should have been the one to be celebrating right now.
That was painful to watch, like just seeing like, oh, Kobe made a great prediction, surprise upset, I think obviously you can see 100 Thieves as a favorite, but that's just nope. Not going to happen.
And difficulties.
So the funniest thing is that I have all 12 of my stocks for our LCS stock game in Clutch. So
and they're 1 and 2 in this group.
That was a painful loss.
Right, we have one more game tomorrow for you, though. Maybe you can bring it back, because if they win, your money's coming back.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2 over the.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I just said that, Mark. Thanks for paying attention. I love you very much. Now, tomorrow, TSM Smoothie has to face his former team and has nothing but thanks for what C9's owner, Jack, did for his career.
Jack's always been like a really, really good friend of mine. Even after I left Cloud9, he's always been like a really big positive influence on my life and a big supporter of me. And I really appreciate everything he says about me and does for me.
Ben with the damage, flash play for Smoothie, looking for the hook, and that's first blood. TSM in the 2v2.
I think right now my standards for myself are really, really high. We're trying to play as clean as possible, and I think given another week or two, we'll be even better.
It's Smoothie setting things up daily, nightly, and ever so rightly.
Good luck, Cloud9.
One of the things he was referring to of Jack talking about him was the Reddit thread where Jack jumped in and Jack started the thing about, TSM being super underrated. And the next game was when Smoothie popped off against CLG, hooked 6A like 9 times in a row and won them the game. So
and won against TL, which will also happened obviously. So yeah, that's gonna be fun because of course it feels like TSM and C9 are the other two teams sort of fighting for maybe #1 alongside Team Liquid here with that TSM C9 battle. So certainly a really sick fight at the top of the standings.
Yeah, and it feels like a while since it's been that way. Like either C9 was slumping or TSM was slumping, and it was rarely the like old like battle for first. And while Team Liquid's still there as the kind of dominant team, it's at least like for who gets the first in line to take a shot at them.
The old battle for a second.
Hey, better than the battle for like 4th and 6th or whatever it was before.
And hey, I mean, ever since like, the most recent loss for Team Liquid was TSM and have yet to rematch them, have yet to play C9 again. So could still be the battle for first. They're all pretty close in standings. Either way, top of the table, certainly a very close one. Now we come back tomorrow with Echo Fox opposite Clutch Gaming over in Game 1. Maybe they get their second win, Kobe. We'll see what happens. 100 Thieves challenges Golden Guardians over in Game 2, followed by that battle of Cloud9 versus TSM. Don't want to miss that. After all 5 games conclude, meet us here for LCS Cooldown, where Azael and I will be joined by Licorice and Niski of Cloud9. And if you need even more League action, because who doesn't, stay tuned for the LEC rebroadcast, which had an explosive Game 2 between G2 Esports and SK Gaming, and I spoiled that result a little earlier in the show. Now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the LCS. Good night.
This is the battle to start digging and clawing your way out of the bottom of the standings.
We're on. I have stun initial. I will kill bomb.
This could be a dive. Huni very low on mana here, though. Won't be able to do a whole ton, but he doesn't even need to.
Oh my god, 100 Thieves is just getting absolutely blasted. Oh wow, you look good.
Looks like they're just trying to make Clutch Gaming into the fight here now. Instead, Huni gonna be stunned up, brought down. That's another big reward going over to 100 Thieves. And the winds of change are blowing up. Mystic shots flying, Clutch Gaming dying, and that's 100 Thieves getting themselves an ace. Panda making his way up, but it's also going to be the Galio making his way into the fight. Hakuo with a rotation means it's Echo Fox with domination.
Panda is everywhere.
Keeping as well. Look at the shield. I'm coming. I'm on cannon. Nice. We got it. Nice. My move, guys. Wait, I think we get Ansoren. I can hold. Come. Just go. We're gonna full hit. Yes, sir. One game, guys.
Looks for the knockup, doesn't find anyone. There's the Fate's Call finally back up, and Sneaky, he got poked out all day. Pushing forward, Contracts is there, and Sneaky overstayed his welcome.
I'm moving up. I can ult on this guy? Yeah, let's go.
Wave in their base.
I pushed you, Sneaky.
Yep, he's dead.
Team Liquid fell the outer ring. Xmithie also looking to dive in onto Crown. Goes Drowsy, flash, and cleanse up for Crown, but Jensen dives in. He wants the kill. He will collect it. Impact with a massive flank. Finds Crown, destroys him with the Tempest. And now the Galio roams in. Meteor's going to lose his GA. Dokla going to lose his life to Jensen.
I'm starting to run top side right now.
Yep,
Keep on. Keep on. I can let you get it.
Nice, Ray. Let's fucking go.
Oh, JJ so long, he's dead. Ignite.
Another item.
Oh, Darshan, it's not very nice what you're doing to Viper. Darshan is destroying everyone. As Power of Evil collects the first kill. Next bubble lands. CLG moving forward, gonna try and finish up the game. You will never forget my name again.
Let's go, baby. Zion Spartan is back.